I take people all over Florida to places where lynchings happen.
Mm.
I'm the only black person today who owns property in Rosewood, Florida.
They
23
had a movie.
Are you kidding? It's one of the best movies you'll ever.
I love it.
It is indeed.
Bobby's Hip Hop and R&B. It's 103.5 The Beat. Pop and Keep the People's Voice in the building. Author and generally amazing human being from South Florida. The one and only Mr. Marvin Dunn is here. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm blessed, man. Glad to have you. Listen, you've done a lot of things here in South Florida. Before we get to your book, which, we should all be enamored about, and you'll explain why, uh, let's get a little bit of history on Dr. Marvin Dunn. Who
Sure.
is Dr. Marvin Dunn?
Dr. Marvin Dunn was born in Florida in 1940 near
Wow.
Orlando. I'm 85 years old. Lived most of my life in Florida, except during the service time in the Navy.
How long did you serve in the Navy?
7 years as an officer on
Oh,
aircraft
wow.
carriers.
Thank you for your service, King.
Thank you so much. And then after the Navy, I went to the University of Tennessee, got a doctorate in psychology, came here in 1972 and started working at FIU as a professor, and I stayed up there 37 years.
Wow.
Retired as chairman of the psychology department.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
You've done a lot and you've been back here consistently for over 55 years now, putting in a lot of work.
Well, this is home, and particularly right now, we have problems. And those of us who have grown up here, who know the history, who can help the current generations reach back and understand our current situation through the prism of history, we are obliged to do that.
So how do you go about doing that? Because that seems like such a struggle to be able to communicate with the younger folks
Getting
now.
out there, Keith. I take people all over Florida to places where lynchings happen.
Mm.
I'm the only black person today who owns property in Rosewood, Florida. In
They
1923.
had a movie.
Are you kidding? It's one of the best movies you'll
Ever see? I love it's very
Single movie.
emotional.
It is indeed.
So
Well,
you have
I
property
own
there?
5 acres of land in Rosewood, which is all white now.
Wow.
No black people out there. And the railroad that was used to rescue people, the train came in, as you may know, when this massacre happened in 1923, and 2 white men who owned the train were able to bring it in secretly and rescue some of the people and take some out of
So there was some
Rosewood.
good white people back then.
There were indeed.
Mhm.
And my land has part of the railroad track that was used to rescue those people, which is why I
Wow.
purchased those.
So you do tours of your land then?
I take people up to the property. I've taken thousands up to this
I
point.
would like to go.
They're called Teach the Truth tours.
I would like to go. When is the next tour?
Actually, the 28th of March.
20th of March? I'm not gonna be here.
But I do others. We can talk. I'd
We
love
can
to take
talk?
you.
Okay,
Yes.
seriously. But is there a place people could go now that we talking about it? We pique some
No,
interest.
no, not really. Uh, we have
You only do it for your special people?
we only do it for the Mellon Foundation grantees. So our tours are for college students and faculty, and then I
Gotcha.
invite guests to come along. But
Gotcha.
mainly it's to take college kids at no cost all over Florida to places of racial violence.
Dr. Marvin Dunn, why was that so important for you to be able to purchase that land? That's big.
Because they are trying to erase Black history. They're trying to erase Rosewood history. And I wanted to have those 5 acres. And I told my children, I got 7 children, if y'all
Mhm.
sell my 5 acres in Rosewood, I'm going to come back from the grave and haunt your behinds. We're going to hold on. I told them, don't be
Yeah.
selling my land. That land is going to be the only place
You have it
in
in
the
a
future.
trust?
I own it privately, my own
Okay.
private land. That's going to be the only place that people can go and walk on that property and understand that history and feel that history. So that's why I bought it, to save it.
I wanna thank you for doing that.
Mm, Thank
You
you.
know, like, I don't even think I mean, I know you understand what you're doing, but I don't think you truly understand
Well,
what that is.
see, our history is tied to the land, and we don't have much land that we own where historical things happen. So that's why owning those 5 acres in Rosewood is so important.
Listen, if you have not seen the movie Rosewood, I strongly suggest you
Me
see it.
too.
It is a tough movie to watch, but wow, just to see, our folks be able to cultivate and live good, like almost like Black Wall Street in a
That's right.
sense, to
On a
live good on a
smaller
lower
scale,
level,
but the
yeah.
same.
But have their own town and be able to, flourish well, and then to have some people see that, be jealous, and
That's a
then
big
burn it
part of
down
it.
to the ground.
Yep. Everybody left overnight.
Crazy. All right. So thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
Um, let's get to the book.
Okay.
The history of African Americans in Florida. Why is this book so important to you?
because they're trying to erase our history, because there are stories of Black history that they don't want taught in schools, especially to Black kids. Because, especially now under this governor, the effort to bury our history has gone full speed ahead. So, unless we save it ourselves, unless we write the stories ourselves and get them into the hands of our children, they will stories will be lost. So that book was written for middle school kids,
Mm.
where parents could teach them our history without depending upon the school system doing it. So that's why the book was written. For example, on page 178, Malcolm X is in my book.
Yeah, well, I was gonna tell you
Trayvon
to
Martin is in my book.
I was gonna hold up. Don't go too fast, all right? Because you just mentioned Malcolm X being in the book. Here it
Yeah.
is, 178. I was also flipping, and then I saw MLK was in the book.
Mhm.
And then I would be remiss if I don't mention my, um, Muhammad Ali.
Absolutely.
So those three had a special relationship with Florida.
That's right.
Can you talk a little bit about it?
Well, as you know, Muhammad Ali announced his conversion to
Mhm,
Islam in Miami. Um, Which was absolutely astonishing that he did that here. But
mhm.
in terms of the other 2, I'm not quite sure where you're going with the other 2.
Well, I know they stayed in that
The
hotel
Hampton House.
in Hampton House, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
They met
Got
there,
all happy,
they
yeah.
had conversations
Sam Cooke,
there.
Jim
Sam
Brown.
Cooke, that's right,
Yeah.
Jim Brown. You know, Miami was really a place where, at least Overtown, where some affluential Black folks could go, meet, congregate, eat, dance,
But
have a
now
good
this is
time.
the Hampton House is in Brownsville.
Yeah.
So, it
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Hampton House is in
yeah,
Brownsville.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
confusing the
It's
two.
all right.
Thank you for
I'm the
correcting
historian
me
here. It's all right.
and embarrassing me in front of my audience. I'm like, no, thank you for correcting me. We got to be on the right side of history.
Okay.
You're right. The Hampton House is on Brownsville, right off of the
One to
right
12.
112,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And what I'm talking about is is it, it was
The Ward Rooming House? In the
yes,
over oh, that's a famous house.
yes. That's what
Oh,
I was
yeah, yeah,
confusing it with.
that's what well, that's where if you were, a big inn during that time,
Yeah,
that's where you stayed.
yeah,
That's where the big Negroes came.
yes.
Entertainers,
That's what
athletes,
I meant.
they stayed
Yeah,
at the Ward Rooming House because they were not allowed to stay in hotels on Miami Beach
right.
where they performed. They stayed at the Ward Rooming, except Muhammad Ali never stayed there.
Got you.
He stayed in Liberty City, and I met the lady, Eunice Liberty was her name.
There's a
She said
house that is associated with him in Liberty City. I saw that the other day too.
that's Miss Eunice Liberty's house.
Oh
I met her when
wow.
she was in her 90s. She told me, "Dr. Dunn, Muhammad Ali wouldn't dare stay in Overtown at the Ward Rooming House."
Wow.
She said the women would be around the block waiting to see him. So he
Right.
stayed in her house, and she fed him, took care of him because she wanted to protect him from the public.
See, like you're dropping such history lessons right now. And obviously a lot of those history lessons and more are in this book.
Yeah, at the level for middle school kids.
Right. So for instance, obviously, in your opinion, this should be a part of like material that should be in schools, especially here in South Florida, for kids to understand
It should
not
be.
only us understanding our history, but for other kids.
I'm so glad you said that. This book was not written for black kids.
Right.
It's written for the kids of Florida, period, who need to know this history. So
Because
I'm
Black
glad you
history
mentioned
is
that.
everyone's
It
history.
is everyone's history. So yeah, I think we have a chance of having the book in public schools, but we can't count on that. We're going to approach the appropriate people about getting permission to the appropriate channels to have this book in schools. But this book is written for churches to use to teach in
Mm.
their freedom schools.
Mhm.
It's meant for parents to use to teach Black history at home. So there are other ways in which this book can be used other than through the school systems in
Yeah,
Florida.
absolutely. How can people get a hold of this book?
It's available at CCI com dot no, no, ccipub.com. ccipub.com. If you go there, look.
And just for some of the folks, he even has stuff in here about Flow Rider, Rick Ross, so, it's not just about, Trayvon Martin, it's just not political stuff. It's just not like MLK.
Mhm.
There's stuff in here about some of your favorite,
Right,
rappers too.
right. And black kids need to know what happened to Trayvon.
They do.
Don't have to go into gory details, but they need to be on guard that you could be
That's
in
the
the same
reality.
situation. It's
Mhm.
reality that they need to know.
You covered Jim Crow in here.
Yeah, I
Jim
lived
Crow
that, so
laws, which you experienced.
I lived it.
What do you
Uh,
have to say about that?
you know, when I was a kid, my mom would take me and my brothers on a bus here in Miami.
Mhm,
We're talking the early 50s. She would take our hands and walk us past the white people to the back of the bus. I'm 7, 8 years old.
mhm,
And when she would get to the back of the bus, she would relax and sit in the back seat and she'd be okay. But, even now, I remember how I felt walking
yeah,
past the white people to get to the colored section of the bus. As a child, I was asking myself, why am I not good enough to sit up front?
right,
Why can't I sit up there with the white people? So racism hurts. It follows you through
mhm,
your life. Here I am
mhm,
now, 70 some years later, still talking about that pain that I
yeah.
felt as a child being made to sit on the back of the bus.
How does it feel, right, to see now different things have changed, but they change in a different way? In a sense where, like you say, so much of the history has been just buried, right? And now you see young black kids and they just don't have any or little to no appreciation for certain things and certain people that fought for their rights and stuff like that. A lot of it's by design, and I try to have people understand that.
It is.
A lot of it is brainwashing and certain things and drugs and certain things that they plant in the community to create that, and something and I know I'm kind of all over the place,
It's all right.
but you're a psychologist. Um,
Yeah, I know you're crazy.
yeah, certified. But it's like I always said to myself, what always allowed me to feel good about being a black man was to know that if we are two-thirds of a man, we are nothing, we're
Mhm.
below, we're all these negative things, then why do you spend
Because we're dangerous in some ways to the status quo. Once black people began to appreciate our power in the 1960s and beyond that, it became very frightening to some white people because now we were taking jobs that had been reserved for them. We were moving into neighborhoods that had been all white. We were going into schools that had been all white. That was a threat, still is, to some white people. And we see the reaction to that, particularly in Florida, with respect to the rise of white nationalism
Mm,
and anti-Islamic feeling, now even laws. So we are in the throes of a period where history, in some regards, our lives are threatened by a country that's going totally in the wrong way. But I'll say this: I think it's important. Uh, as Black people, we've always had some white folks who have come to our assistance, who have supported
yes,
us, and that's important. When
very.
people start getting angry at all white people, don't no, 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 no. We need support from white groups to help us
My
because there's
man,
so
can I
many
tell you
people.
something? This is
What?
a true story, right? When I started my nonprofit, that's how I felt. I started my nonprofit during the Black Lives Matter thing. And I kept saying to myself, I get it, but nah, we can't do it on our own. So
Absolutely
that's
not.
when I came up with People Matter. That's kind of like, nah, whoever want to be down with helping me out, I'm down with you. I
You,
don't care what color you are.
well, Dr. John O'Brien, I know we're all over the place, but Dr.
uh,
John O'Brown, who's now gone, was head of the core chapter during the civil rights movement in Miami. Those most activists, they were the ones who were in the streets.
uh-huh.
And when I wrote the book, Black Miami History, the history of blacks in Miami, I sent the chapter on civil rights to Dr. Brown because he
Mm,
now already lived through it. And after a couple of weeks, Dr. Brown called me and said, "You can't print this." That's what I said. I can't print that, doc. No, no, you can't. Come up here and see me. And I went to his house. He said, "You don't have anything in there about the white people who helped us, about
mhm.
the Jews who helped us, who
Yeah.
gave us money." He made me rewrite that chapter to include that we did have
Wow.
white support at that time. That made a big difference. So we need to keep a balanced view of what's happened to us. Yes, we have been oppressed and damaged and killed and all that, but we've also had support, particularly in very, very tragic times, from the white community.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm happy we covered that. I just want to thank you for doing this and just the legacy that you are planting for, years beyond your time and others, from the land in
Rosewood. Mhm.
Rosewood, right? To this book. These things gonna live forever and are gonna help to shape, people who are going to be hungry for that knowledge.
Thank you
So
so much.
thank you for doing that, Dr. Dunn.
It's my pleasure.
All right. Y'all go get this book, man. Support this brother. Please let him know again, because I know I messed it up before, where they can get the book.
ccipub.com.
ccipub.com.
Yes.
Please, this should be in every household, black, white, I don't care your orient or your makeup. You know, if you care about a black person, just one of us. Please get this book to understand what the hell we've been through here in Florida. And definitely, you know, again, middle school reading, a lot of references, a lot of other places you can go, but this is a great place to start. Thank you so much, Doctor.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, man.